Hello guys, welcome back. Today we will see organizational structure in which we will see organization level and the structure of enterprise in the SAP system. So let's start organizational structure in SAP MM, that is material management, in which we have different organizational unit like company code, plant, storage location, purchasing organization, and purchasing group. So all these logical parameters are used to design the structure of company. So organizational structure is used to design the structure of company in which we have this different logical unit. And this organizational structure is responsible for procurement. So while procurement, we maintain all this data and this is responsible for procurement. So we will see their hierarchy and how these units are assigned to each other in SAP system. For that, we have to map all these units in SAP, that is configuration of org structure. So first we will see one by one what is company code. Let's start with company code. So what is company code? You have heard about company, but what is company code? What is the difference between company and company code? So SAP has distinguishes company and company code separately. Let's see the difference between company and company code. Let's say Reliance is a company and we have Geo, Retail, Petroleum. So Reliance is the company, and under that company, Reliance Geo, Reliance Retail, Reliance Petroleum. So these are the company code. So Reliance is the parent company, and under that parent company, these are the subsidiary company. So what is company code? Company code, it is the part of company, or you can say company code, it is the subsidiary of the parent company. And one company can have multiple company codes. Let's say theoretically, a company code is the smallest organizational unit of external accounting within the SAP system, and we can use one or more company code for one company. And the currencies can be different for each company code. For example, I have a three company code which are situated in three different countries. So currencies can be different for each country, that is for each company code, but they must use same chart of account, and each company code has separate their own balance sheet and profit and loss statement. So what is the chart of account? What is the profit and loss statement? What is the balance sheet? These are the finance related terms. We will see in next finance video. For now, we just remember company code is the part of corporate group or it is a subsidiary company. Next, plant. So plant is physical location. Plant can be any location within the company code, and that is involved in some activity for company code. Plant can be used for manufacturing activity, that is for production. Plant can be used for procurement related activities, or plant can be sales office. So depend on business requirement and usage, we can define the plant. Like in production, we can say plant is used for manufacturing facility. In material management or inventory management, we can say it is used, plant is used to manage the stock of material. In sales and distribution, it can be sales office. where plant represents a material and service distributed. So plant is a operational unit within a company code, and it can be manufacturing, it can be procurement, or it can be sales office. So depending upon the business requirement, we define a plant. Next, storage location. So we have seen a company. Under a company, we have company code. Under a company code, we have plant, and under plant, we have storage location. So what is storage location? See, this name itself indicate a location where we store the material. A storage location is a place where we store a material within a plant, and we maintain the storage location on quantity basis. On quantity basis means what? Suppose I have ordered 100 piece of material. So this vendor supplies this 100 piece to company, and the company do good receipt for that. What is good receipt means? We check the whatever the quantity we have order, we receive are correct or not. We also check the physical dimensionally they are correct or not, and if all these conditions are satisfied, then we do GR in our system, and then we put this material in our storage location. So here I'm talking about 100 piece, that is I'm talking about only quantity. I'm not talking about the value. So we maintain the storage location on quantity basis, right? So there are different types of storage location depending upon the types of industry. Let's say if I have a manufacturing industry. So in manufacturing industry, I have different types of material, raw material or a semi-finished good, or sometimes material get rejected or some material gets scrapped. So I want to create a scrap storage location separately. So I can create the storage location on the type of material. Let's say take an example of pharmaceutical company where we keep the storage location on the basis of first in first out. Why first in first out? Because we have to prevent that medicine or that material in pharmaceutical company to prevent from expiry date. So we can create expired storage location separately. So depending upon the type of industry, we maintain the storage location. So storage location is a place where we put a material. A storage location is a place where we maintain a stock physically within a plant, and the storage location are always created for a plant. It does not exist without a plant. If we have company code, then we must have a plant, and this under a plant we create a storage location. We cannot create the storage location under a company code. Next, purchasing organization. So what is purchasing organization? Organization which is responsible for purchasing activity, that is purchasing organization. So whenever we order a material, whenever we do some service, so whatever the conditions with vendor, we maintain at purchasing organization, and this purchasing organization is responsible for all this external purchase transaction. So purchasing organization is responsible for companies' purchase requirement and procurement activities. And this purchasing organization negotiates the condition of purchase with vendor, and it can be responsible for one or more than one plant. So we have different types of purchasing organization. Let's see the types of purchasing organization. So we have three types of purchasing organization: normal purchasing organization, reference, and standard purchasing organization. In normal purchasing organization, again we have two types: centralized purchasing organization and decentralized purchasing organization. So what is centralized and what is decentralized? Let's take an example of company. under that company code, I have a three plant 1, plant 2, and plant 3, and all these three plant have a common purchasing organization. So that is centralized purchasing organization. That is one purchasing organization responsible for multiple plant. That is centralized purchasing organization. Or let's say I have two company code, and company code one has two plant, and company code second has also two plant. And further, all these plant of company code A and company code B have a single purchasing organization. So that is also centralized purchasing organization. So this is the centralized purchasing organization. Purchasing organization which is responsible for entire organization, that is called as a centralized purchasing organization. And decentralized purchasing organization, it is opposite of centralized. That means what? It can, let's say I have a company code, and under that company code I have a three plant, and further again each plant have the separate purchasing organization. That plant 1 has purchasing organization 1, plant 2 has purchasing organization 2, and plant 3 has purchasing organization 3. So I have a separate purchasing organization for each plant. That is decentralized purchasing organization. So if one purchase organization is responsible for all the plant, that is centralized, and if the one purchasing organization is responsible for only one plant, that is decentralized purchasing organization. So we can call it as plant specific. This is responsible for only plant. This purchasing organization one is responsible for plant one only. This purchasing organization two is responsible for plant two only. Similarly, this purchasing organization 3 is responsible for plant 3 only. So we can call it as plant specific purchase organization. This is specific to plant, and that is decentralized purchasing organization. And this is called as centralized purchasing organization. A single purchasing organization is responsible for entire company. We can call it as cross plant purchasing organization, as here you can see many plant have a single purchasing organization. Similarly, this we can call as cross company code purchasing organization. I hope this understand. So second type, reference purchasing organization. So let's take an example of plant specific purchase organization, that is a company code. Under that we have a three plant, and each plant have the separate purchasing organization, that is plant specific purchase organization. So what is the role of purchasing organization? Where we negotiate with vendor, where we maintain some contract, and where we have a certain type of agreement with vendor. So all these terms and conditions we are maintaining for this organization level. Now, if I have a three purchase organization, so I have to maintain the each time. If I don't want to maintain each time, I don't want to negotiate with vendor separately for this purchasing organization. So I will create one purchasing organization as a reference purchasing organization, and I will create a global contract. I will create a global agreement here, which can be used by these purchasing organizations. So I do not need to create a separate agreement for this purchasing organization. So this is the benefit of reference purchasing organization. So here we simply assign this reference purchasing organization to purchasing or organization 1, 2, and 3. So working with a reference purchasing organization can save the time and effort in maintaining the data because purchasing organization data for vendor master and purchasing info record. We will discuss these terms later. Just remember all these agreement, all these terms and conditions we can maintain here, and we can just simply refer it to here. That is the purpose of reference purchasing organization. Third one is standard purchasing organization. Now, if I have a plant and this plant have different purchasing organization, let's say this purchasing organization 1, purchasing organization 2, purchasing organization 3. So I can create one of them as a standard purchasing organization. So if a plant is having more than one purchasing organization, then we have to set one of them as a standard purchasing organization, which is used for special procurement like consignment, pipeline. In that case, we can't use any this purchasing organization. We have to use standard purchasing organization only. So that is the use of standard purchasing organization. So centralized purchasing organization is one purchasing organization responsible for all entire structure, that is centralized purchasing organization. It can be a cross company code or it can be a cross plant. Or decentralized purchasing organization is a plant specific organization. What is reference purchasing organization? If three purchasing or if there are number of reference purchasing organization, you can simply say when we have plant specific purchasing organization, and that time I don't want to create a separate contract, separate terms and conditions. So that time I can create only one purchase organization, that is reference purchasing organization, and I can simply use all the data from here to all this purchasing organization level. For that, we have to assign this purchasing organization to reference purchasing organization. That is the purpose of reference purchasing organization. And standard purchasing organization is what? When we have more than one purchasing organization for a plant, that time we have to set one of them as a standard purchasing organization. Next, purchasing organization versus purchasing group. Now, this purchasing group, we do not assign this purchasing group in organization structure. Most important, we don't assign purchasing group to anyone. This is just used for reporting purpose. That means this purchasing group is a person who is responsible for the procurement activities. Let's say I have three types of procurement. So I will just assign the work to them, that this one purchasing group can be responsible for this activity, this one purchasing group can be responsible for this activity. So we can use this just only for reporting purpose. We don't assign them in anywhere in organization structure. That is the purchasing group, and we have seen already purchasing organization. Next, so we have seen company code, we have seen plant. Under the plant we have a storage location, and under the plant we have a purchasing organization. So this is the org structure of SAP MM. So let's see what are the possible assignments, and this is the hierarchy. Now let's see what are the possible assignments. That one company code can have multiple plant. As you can see in this diagram, this is the one company code can have multiple plant. One or more storage location may exist within a plant. One or more storage location can be exist within a plant. Now we'll take reversing. So one company code can have multiple plant, but one plant cannot have multiple company code. Second, one plant can have multiple storage location, but one storage location do not have multiple plant. That is reverse of it. Third, that is I have already said, two plants cannot have a common storage location. That is, one storage location don't have a multiple plant. Now, this purchasing organization can have one company code and one purchasing organization can have, sorry, one company code have many purchasing organization, but one purchasing organization have only one company code. In cross company code purchasing organization, we will assign the purchasing organization to plant only. We don't assign purchasing organization to company code. This is most important point. Just remember, we don't assign purchasing organization to company code in case of cross company. As we have different plants under the different company code, that time we assign the purchasing organization to only plant. And the one purchasing organization is responsible for several plant. And the several purchasing organization for one plant, then we define one of them as a standard purchasing organization. Don't be confused. I will just say simply like one purchasing organization can be responsible for different plant 1, plant 2, plant 3, or we can say one purchasing organization can be responsible for only one plant, or we can say one plant can have a different purchasing organization. That's it. So this one purchasing organization can have different plant, or one plant can have different purchasing organization, or one plant can have only one purchasing organization. And we have seen the last one, purchasing group, which is independent and we do not assign it to anyone. It is just for reporting purpose, and we can use any purchasing group for any purchasing organization, as we don't assign it. It is for our internal purpose, for reporting purpose only. Now we have seen this organization unit. Now we have to map all these unit in SAP system. So I will show you some screenshot in SAP how you assign. Let's first we have seen the company. So we'll define the company in our SAP system. For that we have path SPRO. In under the SPRO we have SAP Consulting Implementation Guide, and under that we have enterprise structure. Then we define, and this is the financial accounting, and then company. So what is SPRO? See, this SPRO is used to configure SAP system as per client requirement. It is a SPRO means what? SAP Project Reference Object. And under that we have this IMG tool, implementation guide, which is further used to find the customization setting for all the module in SD, MM, PP, FI, CO, or all the module. We will do the configuration in SPRO, and in that we have this IMG tool. And under that we are defining the enterprise structure. So click on enterprise structure. We'll defining the company code. So click on define, and financial accounting, because this company and company code are created by financial team. So click on financial accounting and define the company. So if you go to a screen, log on screen, then here we put the code SPRO. Under that SPRO we have this implementation guide. Under that we have this enterprise structure, and under the enterprise structure, this is defined by financial accounting team. This is defined by company, and company code are defined by finance team. And under the finance, here we define the company. If we click on the company, the next screen will appear like this. Here you have to create a new company. So you have to click on this new entry. Then this screen will appear, and you have to put all the related data which we want. Here we give the company name, name of the company, street, box, address, everything we mention here. Next, company code, same path. If we click on SPRO, see here we have defined a company, then here we define the company code. Under that company code, we click on the copy, add a new entry, and then here we can enter a company code and company name. If you want to create a new entry, then click on here. If you click on new entry, then this screen will appear, and the next we will put all the address related data, all the name of the company code. Similarly, we define a plant. Now this plant is defined by material management consultant, so it is will come under the logistic general. See, this is important. In company and company code we have, see, it is comes under the finance. But plant is defined by consultant. So here we choose, here we select the logistic. Under the logistic, define, copy, delete, and check the plant. Same process. I have given a path, just follow it. You can easily create a org structure. Next, storage location. So if you follow this path, here we have maintain storage location, and that you have to enter the plant. For which plant I have to maintain that storage location. So here we assign that plant to storage location. And if you want to further put an address for that storage location, we can also maintain the address here. So while procuring the material, if you want to deliver that material to that storage location, that time we can put the address here. Next, purchasing organization. Just follow the path, you will get this. I have shown a screenshot. Now, if we have defined the company code, we have defined company, company code, plant, and purchasing organization. Next, we will do assignment. So here we will assign company code to company. If we have seen the organized structure, here what we have a company, under that company we have a company code, and under that company code we have plant, and under that we have a storage location, and under the plant we also have purchasing organization. So we will assign first company code to company, then we will assign plant to company, then we will assign this. We already assigned the storage location to plant. Now we'll assign. So here we have to one assignment company code to company, second assignment plant to company code to company, that is first assignment, plant to company code, that is second assignment, and we have already assigned the storage location to plant. And third is what? We have to assign purchasing organization to plant, and if we want a purchasing organization to company code specific, then we can also assign this purchasing organization to company code, not company, sorry, company code. So let's see the assignment. So assigning plant to company code, this is the menu part. In enterprise structure, we have selected a define for define the organization structure, and once we create organization structure, then we click on assignment. Here we will assign all the enterprise structure, like company code to company and purchasing organization to plant. See, here we can assign this purchasing organization to company code also. Here we can also assign purchasing organization to plant also, and also we assign standard purchasing organizations to plant. That means if I have a multiple purchasing organization for a single plant, that time I will select one of them as a standard purchasing organization, and this standard purchasing organization is assigned to plant. Next is reference purchasing organization we have seen. So this purchasing organization can be assigned to reference purchasing organization. So we have already discussed what is the reference purchasing organization and what is the standard purchasing organization. So that are related to assignment activities. Now, once we have created the entire organization structure, and once we define the enterprise structure and assign them, then we can see all the entire structure within this T code EC01 and EC02. So if we put this T code EC01, we can see the entire structure at company level, that is. And if we put the T code EC02, that is the plant level. So this is at the company code level, company level. So once if you have created org structure, just put the decode EC01, you can see your organization structure here at company code level. And if you put the EC02, you can see your organization structure at the plant level. So that's it. So let's stop here. If you have any doubt regarding the org structure, you can ping us. We have mentioned our email ID, or you can check the link on description box also. So guys, and one more topic is remaining, automatic creation of storage location. I can tell you this one. So if we do not want to create storage location manually, we want the storage location automatically. That time, for example, when we do good receipt, and that time if I have not a storage location, I want the storage location should be created automatically while 101 good moment. What is 101? That is moment type. We will discuss later. Just remember, good when we do good receipt, that time we do put the storage location, and if we want them automatically in system, so how we can add that? Let's see. This is the path I have mentioned. So we can set the automatic storage location for which plant I want to set the automatic storage location, and for which moment type I want automatic storage location. So what is moment type, I will tell you in next lecture. For now, just remember it is just for a moment purpose. Like for GR good receipt, we use 101 moment type. Like that, we have an n number of moment types. So we'll see. So here we select the plant, for which plant I have to create this storage location automatically, and these are the moment type. We can simply tick here. For example, I have said white good receipt. For that plant, I want to create the storage location automatically. That time I can use this. Okay, so let's stop here. So guys, if you have any doubt, you can put us a mail. This is your mail ID, and please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.